So we joined the traffic just as we approach the start of the parking bays. Now this, remember, is supposed to be the route cycled by children heading to the Hewitt School and students heading towards City College. The original plan was that the cycle lane would start at about the point where the parking bays begin. The reason we have the parking bays is because when the plan went out to consultation, the Town Close School objected to losing on-street parking because some of their parents drive their children to school. The result was the cycle lane was scrapped. This was decided on the casting vote of the head of transport for Norwich at the time, Martin Wilby. We did object very strongly when this decision was announced, and this is why the Norwich Cycling Campaign withdrew our support for this scheme in 2022. Once past the parking bays, we get to Cecil Road, which is where kids heading to the Hewitt School turn off to the right. And it's after this point, and just before we get to City College, that the cycle lane starts. So those parking bays have really destroyed the main point of this whole scheme. The cycle lane actually starts immediately after Town Close Road. And as soon as the cycle lane starts, we get one of the bus stops, which block the cycle lane. I'd been watching this coach, it'd been there for a while, and it was still indicating left. But just as I pass it, the right indicator goes on. Fortunately, the driver does notice me, and I get past safely. But that would have been really quite dangerous. Having got past the bus, a short distance further on, and we come to the biggest problem we had with the original scheme. This is a lay-by opposite the entrance to City College, and the cycle lane leads you directly into the door kill zone. It's really important to keep a good distance between you and the cars along here. But unfortunately that means riding on the right hand side of the cycle lane, which is going to be really close to passing traffic. This is just bad design. No other way to describe it. There should be some kind of buffer zone between the cyclists and the opening doors. We did raise this in the early consultations, but it wasn't seen as a problem. It clearly is. And as we pass City College, we come to the entrance to Town Close School on the left. At certain times of the day, parents who for some reason don't want to use the on-street parking the school campaigned for, queue here waiting to get into the school. And of course, in queuing, the parents block the cycle lane. And they do that because the school keeps the gates shut. Perhaps they could open the gates earlier? And so we come to the final section, where the cycle lane finishes just after the pedestrian crossing and dumps cyclists back into the traffic. Overall impressions of the inbound cycle lane? Well, terrible. Doesn't really describe it. It's dangerous. Outright dangerous in places. The parking bays have created a totally unnecessary hazard and completely destroyed the original plan, which would have provided a safe route to school for children and young people going to the college. And the lay-by really needs looking at the very least. The bus stops, which are on both sides, present a hazard I hadn't fully appreciated. And finally, of course, Town Close School need to do something about parents queuing to get into the entrance.